Hello everyone, I am Stony Kalango, and in this video we will be talking about 9 inventors that are found in the Bible. When you think about famous inventors in the world, what names come to mind? The names that come to mind for me are people like Henry Ford with a motor vehicle, like Alexander Graham Bell with a telephone, like the Wright brothers with the aeroplane, and people like Thomas Edison and Isaac Newton, and great scientists and inventors that brought about some of the greatest inventions in all of human history. But did you know that there are 9 inventors recorded in the Bible? 9 people in the Bible that the Bible tells us that they invented certain things. Well, without wasting so much of your time, let's go through the list. The first inventor was Abel. In Genesis chapter 4 verse 2, the Bible says, "Then she bore again, this time his brother Abel. And now Abel was a keeper of sheep." Abel was the first shepherd in all of the Bible and in all of human history. He was the one who invented husbandry. He was the one who invented shepherding. Can you believe that? What about the second guy? Well, our second inventor from the Bible is Abel's brother, Cain. What does the Bible have to say about Cain as an inventor? Let's look at that same verse in Genesis chapter 4, verse 2. It says, "Abel was a keeper of the sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground." Cain invented farming. Can you believe it? Cain, the brother of Abel who killed his brother, invented farming as we know it today. There will be no farming without Cain in that story. And so the story of farming begins with Cain. The third inventor we will be talking about is Cain again. What other thing did Cain invent? Well, Cain invented the concept of a city. In Genesis chapter 4 verse 17, it says, "And Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bore Enoch. And he built a city and called the name of the city after the name of his son Enoch." Enoch was the first city ever built, and it was the first city ever. Cain was the first builder of a city. The fourth inventor in the Bible is a man called Jabal. And we see the story of Jabal in Genesis chapter 4 verse 20. And what does it say? It says, "And Ada bore Jabal. He was the father of those who dwell in tents and have livestock." So Jabal invented tents. You think about tents. When you're going out camping, when you're maybe in the wilderness or in the desert, or you're on some hiking trip, whether in some other country like Saudi Arabia or in a Grand Canyon, wherever that is, or out in some forest in your backyard. Well, do you know who was the first to do camping and making of tents? Well, the first guy ever was a guy called Jabal. Can you believe it? Well, who is our next inventor? Our next inventor is Jubal. Jubal invented the harp and the organ. In Genesis chapter 4 verse 21, the Bible says his brother's name, speaking about Jabal, was Jubal. He was the father of all those who play the harp and the flute. He, Jubal, was the first person to invent musical instruments, the playing of the harp and the playing of the flute. Our sixth inventor is Jubal Cain. Jubal Cain. What did Jubal Cain invent? Well, the Bible says in Genesis chapter 4, verse 22, "As for Zillah, she also bore Tubal Cain, an instructor of every craftsman in bronze and iron. And the sister of Tubal Cain was Naamah." Wow, that is just remarkable. We see a guy again named in the Bible, Tubal Cain, who invented the working of brass and iron. You think about steelworks right now, right? And you think about how steel is made in factories, right? And they're made in, there are millions of tons every day all across the world. Well, the first guy to ever get into metal works or metal making was this guy called Tubal Cain. Well, who is our seventh inventor? Our seventh inventor is a man we all know, Noah. And what did Noah invent? Noah invented the ark and zoology. He was one of the first great carpenters. Let's look to Noah's story in Genesis chapter 6, verse 14. In Genesis 6, verse 14, God was speaking to Noah, and he said, "Make yourself an ark of gopher wood, make rooms in the ark, and cover it inside and outside with pitch, and this is how you shall make it." God himself gave Noah the instructions on how to build an ark. Noah was the first great carpenter as he built this ark as God had intended it. Think about this. God actually gave him the ideas to building an ark that would survive the rain and the storms that were about to come on the world for 40 days and 40 nights straight. Who is our next inventor? Our next inventor is still Noah, and he invented wine. In Genesis chapter 9, verse 20 to 21, we see the account of Noah being the first in all of human history to make and drink wine. And it says, "And Noah began to be a farmer, and he planted a vineyard. Then he drank of the wine and was drunk, and became uncovered in his tent." Noah was the first inventor of wine as we know it today, and he was the first to plant a vineyard. The last inventor in our video today is a guy called Nimrod. Nimrod invented hunting as we know it today. We see that in the account of Genesis chapter 10, verse 8 to 9. And it says, "Cush begot Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one on the earth. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord. Therefore it is said, like Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord." Nimrod was the first great hunter, an inventor of the practice of hunting as we know it today. Well, friends, these are the 9 earliest recorded inventors in all of human history, and they're all found in the Bible and in the book of Genesis. Please share your thoughts and questions in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking the subscribe button below. Hey friends, while you're also there, I wanted to tell you about my new book. My new book called Friend of God. Friend of God, discover divine friendship as you become one after God's own heart. It's just been released a few weeks ago, and I would love for you to have a copy. So if you want to go on Amazon and search for Friend of God by Stony Kalango, you can also find a book that will help you draw closer to God in a more profound and in a more meaningful way than you've ever drawn close to God. Come on, what are you waiting for? Go and get a copy for yourself today. God bless you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye for now.